Hey YouTube, Blackheart72 here. This is going to be the third and final part of my backyard bladesmithing video. I'll show you some footage of how I finished the knife out, but for now I'll just sort of talk you through the steps that I did to finish the knife. This is the finished knife right here. I call it my Viking Scramasax because it's modeled after the fighting utility knives that the Vikings used to have. Sort of a primitive looking blade, but it gets the job done. As you can see some of its handiwork here in the background. I'll roll in some footage of how I made this knife. First thing I'll show you is how I made the tang, hammering it out on my anvil. With the tang is the bit of the knife that's inside the handle right here. After that I forged the tip by heating up the metal, laying it down on a stump, and using a hatchet as sort of a cold chisel and cut off this tip of the knife here to make this Warncliffe style blade. It's a sturdy point and good utility tip there, hold up to hard use. After I finished forging the knife, I took it out, let it cool down. I sort of draw filed the shape where I started the Scandinavian grind here. This is what's called a Scandinavian grind, where it's a one primary bevel, no secondary bevel, like you would find on a saber grind. So Scandinavian grind, one grind bevel going all the way down the edge of the knife here, which is a good woodworking utility edge. So after I sort of draw filed the shape, smoothed out some of the sharp edges, I threw it back in the forge again, heated up the entire blade to the point where it would not attract a magnet, and I let it air cool in a process what's called normalizing, where it normalizes the blade steel. After that, I did what's called an edge quench, where I got the knife heated up again to the point where it would not attract a magnet, and I dipped the edge into a tray of corn oil, which quenched the edge and it hardens it. So it actually gives us some, that's where you get your edge retention capabilities from doing a proper hardening technique like that. After that, I tempered the blade, where I softened the steel by heating up in the oven to 350 degrees. I did what's called a triple temper, where I got it, or I left it in there for an hour, did a total of 3 times. And that tempered the steel and softened it. Not too soft though is the key, because it needs to be soft to be able to sharpen it easily, but it can't be too soft, otherwise it'll just, it won't hold an edge. But if it's too hard, it'll chip out under hard use. But I didn't experience any problems with it, so my heat treatment worked. After I finished tempering it, I finished the blade out on this piece of sandstone here, and then I put the final edge on there with a file and sharpened it up on my Arkansas stones. I got the edge shaving sharp. It held the edge relatively well. The only thing that really dulled it was when I dug with it, and that'll dull just about any blade steel, so I was real happy with the way it worked out. I made the handle here out of a piece of silver maple. I carved it out and attached it to the blade tang with some brass rivets here. The knife is a pretty decent batoner. As you can see, this is some of the batoning work. It split these logs here. I got a little bit of vibration coming up through the tang like that, but it's an excellent chopper. If you choke back on the grip like this, you can do some real nice snap cuts. And I took it out in the field deer hunting and actually made some impromptu deer blinds, and I had to cut my way out of a couple of thorn thickets, and it worked pretty well for that. I made the scabbard here out of a piece of Norwegian maple. I actually used this knife to carve most of it out. I inscribed Blackheart here in Viking runes, sort of a aesthetic thing, and a leather belt loop allows me to carry it on my belt here. But overall, I'm real happy with the way the knife worked out, and so I'll show you the footage of how I made it. Hope you enjoy. Cut. Cut. Cut.